Yes, here's my audience. This is my middle daughter, Sierra Petway. This is my baby girl, Tamara Petway. And this is our close friend of the family, Jaleesa Matthews. And this is my grandbaby, Janiyah. Say hi, Janiyah. Turn around and say hi. Hi, my name is Tawana Yvette Petway. Today I'm here to talk to you about the elderly driving. As we renew our license, we should also have to take the written permit test, and we should also have to take the driver's test to make sure that we are able to operate the vehicle and also remember the state laws as of driving. Before I go any further, I would like to give you a prime example why it should become a law and it should be in effect. As I was growing up, my dad worked for the city. He was a very smart man. So as he was getting older, I would tell my stepmother that for some apparent reason, it seems like he's starting to pretty much forget things and then constantly question or constantly repeating himself, asking the same old question over and over. So I'm study telling her that she should have him go get tested because they do have medicine that help you remember. So it took for this one incident to happen. The incident was she had a meeting. She worked for the city schools, and she teaches for the gifted children. So she had a meeting. So she goes to her meeting, and she calls my dad, tells my dad, okay, you can come and pick me up. So he goes to pick her up. Well, here it is. He goes. He only had to go from the south side to Austintown. He gets on Mahoning Avenue. He goes up Mahoning Avenue. For some apparent reason, he decides that he wants to turn off the main street and goes onto a side street. Well, he goes off to the side street, and so what he did was he gets out the car, locks the car doors, puts the keys in his pocket, and proceeds to go walk back on the main street, which is Mahoning Avenue. He walks up and down Mahoning Avenue. So here it is. My stepmother's waiting for him to come pick her up for her meeting. Everybody in left, and she's steady saying, oh, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. So it took my stepsister's husband to be riding up Mahoning Avenue. Once he rode up Mahoning Avenue, spotted my dad walking. He turned around. He wasn't for sure if it was my dad. So when he turned around, he seen that it was my dad. He told my dad to get in the car. My dad knew who he was, so he asked him, "What are you doing walking up Mahoning Avenue?" So my dad says, "Well, I'm supposed to be picking up my wife. Her name is Claudette. So he's supposed to be picking up Claudette from her meeting." He said, "Well, why did you get out the car?" He says, "I don't know." So he says, "Well, where did you park?" He says, "I don't know where I parked at." So they riding up and down the side streets. Finally, they finds the car. Once they find the car, my dad gets in the car. They turns around and calls my stepmother. My stepmother tells them where she was at. So my stepsister's husband follows my father to pick up my stepmother. Now, I feel that all that could have been prevented if she would have just listened to what I was saying instead of just ignoring what I was saying. So now here it is. My dad, he's still driving, but we have to be more cautious. So we have that that device on the car to where if we need to find the car, we can push the button and it'll tell us where he's at. Okay, and then you can be riding down the street, and sometimes you have the elderly. They feel that, they want to drive at night, and so they could be driving, and they may turn the wrong way, or they may come to a complete stop, and then that will cause an accident. So, as us children, we should look at our elderlies as they're getting older and make sure that they still remember how to drive, the laws, and so forth, and make sure that they go to the doctors more frequently to make sure that they're not getting the case of dementia. We need to basically pay more attention to the elderlies to make sure that this cannot happen to one of you guys' loved ones. because that is something scary. Just to know, you know, you never know if if your loved one comes out and decides, you know, gets out the car anytime. In the way that the society is today, you never know, these young kids may try to hurt them or kill them, and that's my worst fear, far as my dad driving or he gets lost. So that right there, that's a prime example. That should hopefully put a light bulb in our head to trigger to say, yes, our elderlies need to be tested more frequently. And it's not just the elders. It can be middle age. We don't never know when dementia is going to set in. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, well, thank you. And always remember to pay more close attention to your loved ones. Thank you. Have a nice day.